and spent her entire life in the public sector, in the legal field. She was a director of the Civil Court Division in 2002. She was a director of public prosecution in 2005. She was president of the Labor Court in 2006. She was judge of the High Court since 2013, where she played critical roles in the criminal justice system. She was appointed the first female to be appointed chairperson of the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission in May 2019, and it was celebrated then in the legal profession as she would handle corruption matters without fear or favor. Justice Matandamoyo has been since promoted to PG, Prosecutor General, since October 2023. She has been pushing issues such as recovery of assets, and that saw her establish an asset recovery unit within the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission, and many other issues in ensuring that those who have committed crime never benefit from proceeds of crime. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to welcome our Honorable PG as the guest of honor to give her speech. Thank you. A refreshing morning. The chairperson of the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission, in absentia, commissioners of the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission, the executive secretary of the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission, our workshop facilitators, Tom and Emmanuel, who feel welcome in Zimbabwe, Katarina, representative from GIZ, Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission management and staff, and all the participants, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure to address you today wearing my new hat. I know that I've addressed you on several occasions in my prior job, but today I address you as the Prosecutor General. This workshop is on asset recovery and financial investigations and is being facilitated by ICA. This workshop is a much-needed one to boost the fight against corruption in Zimbabwe. Training is very crucial when it comes to the fight against corruption. The criminals are gaining more knowledge every day, and it's also essential that the fighters against corruption are constantly trained to overtake these criminals. I don't want to say that to keep up with them. You must always be ahead of them if this fight is going to be moved. Let me say that it gladdens my heart to be here today as we put action and pen together. Initially in April 2020 and in December 2023, through the consultants agreement with ICA, the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission, National Prosecuting Authority, signed a consultants agreement on financial investigations and asset recovery. As part of the agreement, ICA is obliged to provide mentorship and training in financial investigations and asset recovery. The workshop that we are having today is ample testimony of the operationalization of the consultants agreement, and the high level of attendance attests to our commitment to implementing the consultancy agreement.
Zimbabwe started working with ICA in 2019. That's a long time ago. And subsequently signed the consultancy agreement that I spoke about. Since then, ICA has provided a mentor who has been housed within ZAC and provided mentorship in specific cases. However, the implementation of the first consultants agreement was heavily affected by COVID-19 pandemic and subsequent lockdowns. That really affected the trainings. In December 2023, the consultants agreement with ICA was renewed with a view to improve on areas of weaknesses identified on the first consultants agreements. And I am pleased to note that a few months down the line, we are already advanced in terms of implementing the consultancy agreement. However, ladies and gentlemen, I was disheartened to note the tragic passing on of the managing director of the Basel Institute on Governance, Mrs. Greta Fenner, in April this year. She was the pioneer of our relationship with ICA and was so much dedicated to a successful implementation of the consultancy agreement. It is said that she could not live through to witness the success of our relationship. But in memory of her, we will continue to strive to successfully implement our consultancy agreement. May her dear soul rest in perfect peace. Ladies and gentlemen, we are convened here today because corruption is rampant. This is not just the situation in Zimbabwe, but world over. Corruption knows no limits and exists everywhere, irregardless of the level of economic development or democracy. It does not fear democracy. It does not fear the level of development in any country. It is time that we cut the red tape on illicit financial flows and ensure that looters are not left to enjoy proceeds of crime. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, we are here today to learn effective strategies to curb illicit financial flows. Corruption is a global menace that is transnational in nature. It takes collective efforts at both local and international levels to win the fight against corruption. Therefore, there is need for a well-coordinated approach to the fight against corruption and the recovery of proceeds of crime and the capacitation of institutions involved in the fight. Rigoberta Menchú once said, without strong watchdog institutions, impunity becomes the very foundation upon which systems of corruption are built. Is there impunity occurring in this country? We have to ask ourselves. Are we going after the real cases? This is now time to reflect. And as you undertake this training, I do hope that as a country, we are now going to take this fight against corruption very serious and uproot it. Cooperation between stakeholders is imperative, and the gains made by working cooperatively will far outpace what either institution could accomplish alone. You know that interagency cooperation is crucial in the fight against corruption. For us to succeed in this fight, we do have to ensure that all the stakeholders play their part. We are in a relay as stakeholders here present today. Some are on the starting line, and the National Prosecuting Authority who are on the finishing line. So everyone must run their race to ensure that together we win the race. Whilst we are running, we must know the rules of the game so that we are not disqualified during the race. When you are handing over your stick to the final racer, you must make sure that you've done all that you have been required to do in order for that very person who are going to run the final race to accomplish it successfully. It is against this backdrop that we have invited to the workshop representatives from all stakeholders in the asset value chain. We do have participants from the Zimbabwe Republic Police, we have participants from ZIMRA, FIU, ZAC, the Office of the President and Cabinet, which is very crucial in intelligence gathering. Intelligence gathering remains crucial for successful investigations. And of course, we do have members of the National Prosecuting Authority. Corruption remains one of the greatest barriers to the resuscitation of an economic thriving Zimbabwe and hinders the prospects of the attainment of our Vision 2030. So if we don't fight corruption, we may not be able to see a successful Vision 2030 coming into fruition. So as stakeholders here present today, you are very important in ensuring that we attain Vision 2030 as a country. And I urge you all to play your part in ensuring that this Vision 2030 is realized. Corruption is endemic and systemic, as the ZAC chairperson has already said, and has permeated all known boundaries. It is estimated, as has already been said, that Zimbabwe, we are losing 1.8 billion United States dollars annually due to corruption. That is a huge sum of money, and you can imagine what 1.8 billion dollars could do. Such illicit financial flows are unacceptable and bleed the economy of revenue meant to promote sustainable economic development and the betterment of the livelihoods of all Zimbabweans.